Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and we're taking a look at the 2023 film The Exorcist Believer, which is the sixth film in the Exorcist franchise. This came out in 2023. So it is a supernatural horror movie. Any of you have watched The Exorcist, the original movie in the franchise, as well as their sequels, which I have. I've only watched the series once, and I must admit that because of the fact that I only watched The Exorcist much later in life, I think I was around 30, 38, or maybe a little, just a couple of years before that, maybe 35 or 36, when I actually watched The Exorcist from beginning till end. I didn't actually find it to be scary, to be honest, but yeah, for its time, it definitely was a really scary film. In fact, a lot of people have put it on their scariest film of all time lists, or scariest movies of all time list. So this one is directed by David Gordon Green. I'm not sure if I've seen anything of his, so we'll have to check. The story comes from Scott Teams, Danny McBride, and Green. Danny McBride, you are putting your fingers in the horror pie, sorry. So the movie stars Leslie Odom Jr., Lydia Jewett, Olivia O'Neill, and it's Olivia's film debut. Jennifer Nettles, Norbert Leo Butz, and Ann Dowd, of which I only know Ann Dowd. I don't think I've seen anybody else in. And Leslie Odom Jr.'s name sounds very familiar to me. I have to check and see if I've seen him in anything else before. Let's do that quickly. So, if I have seen him. Oh yeah, he was in Murder on the Orient Express, one that came out in 2017, and then he was also in Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. That's why it sounded really familiar. But I don't think I've seen him in anything else. Excuse me. Yeah, so here basically, the movie starts off with a scene in Haiti where Victor, who is the photographer played by Leslie Odom Jr., and his pregnant wife Soren, they are, I don't know if they're actually on a honeymoon or something like that. And Soren is blessed by a voodoo practitioner in Haiti, but suddenly there's a massive earthquake and she is badly injured. She is rushed to the hospital, and then she tells Victor that to protect their unborn child. The doctors and paramedics tell Victor that they can only save one of them, either his wife or his daughter. They cut to 13 years later, and Victor is, basically a very bitter man, but he is raising his child. Soren is dead. His daughter's name is Angela, and they're living in Georgia. One day after school ends, Angela, with her very religious family best friend, Catherine, they decide to go into the woods on their own, where they perform this seance to actually try and contact Angela's dead mother, Soren. And well, when they're missing, Victor starts trying to contact Catherine's parents. He starts to contact the cops. There's a 3-day manhunt, and finally they are found in a barn. On the third day, they don't know how they reached there. They're basically seeming like they've got some amnesia. They're completely traumatized and tired, and they're hungry, and they're taken to the hospital. They're checked out, and then they seem to only have some burn marks on their feet, nothing else. However, Angela starts showing signs of being possessed. She attacks her father and then starts convulsing, and she's taken back to the hospital. Catherine, meanwhile, has a big outburst in church, and she starts yelling out and all that stuff. So they know that something is wrong, and then they are admitted to the hospital. The nurse, who's their neighbor, and they are attending to her, and she has an idea of something that's wrong. And Miranda, who's basically Catherine's mother, like I said, they're very religious Baptist people, and they say that seems to her that the girls have been dragged through hell. A demon, possibly that they brought a demon back, and that explains the birds to their feet. I don't know how she came up with that, but yeah. Turns out it's actually correct. So their conditions become really, really bad. Anne is convinced that they're possessed, especially when Angela is possessed. And she basically tells them about the fact that Angela somehow seemed to know about something that happened when Anne was much younger. She was about to be a nun. She had had an affair with somebody, and she was actually pregnant, and she had to get it aborted. So this is something which she has not told anybody before. So she's a little worried, and she gives Victor a memoir of Chris McNeil, the mother of Regan from the first film, which came out in 1973. Yeah, sorry, 73. I don't know. I think it's 1998, I guess. So Chris has been spending her life researching exorcisms in different parts of the world. She has become well known for her studies, and she is now a famous author. However, because she dwelled into this particular topic, Regan and her are estranged, and she hasn't seen her for a very long time. So excuse me, Victor goes and meets Chris. They decide to come to their house, and unfortunately for her, Angela attacks her, takes a cross and stabs Chris in the eyes multiple times. She is blinded, and then she is rushed to the hospital. So now, knowing that at this particular point it is a possession, so the two set of parents, Victor and Catherine's parents, Miranda and Tony, they decide to reach out to the church along with Anne, and they ask for an exorcism to be done. The priest, who is Catherine's priest, Stuart, he is supposed to take it, do it, but the diocese basically tells that he's forbidden. Father Maddox basically. Stuart is a Baptist priest. They approach Father Maddox, who is a Catholic priest, but he is forbidden from the Catholic diocese to conduct this experiment, saying that they've actually got a psychiatric disorder. And then, of course, they go to the house and get this thing done. There's a cop involved as well. I don't know how they got permission to actually get this thing done, unless everybody was completely believing in exorcism. Anyway, so they start battling the demon, and then basically the demon reveals that Victor actually did not choose to keep Angela alive 13 years ago. He actually asked for Soren to be chosen by the hospital, but she ended up dying and Angela survived. So I don't know if that was relevant to what has happening, but yeah, we at least get to know that. And then the demon starts to shriek when they pour holy water on her. And then the demon says, only way that they can get the one of the children back is they have to choose that only one girl will survive and the other gets dragged to hell. And if the choice is not made, the demon's going to kill both of them. Of course, Victor and Miranda is not able to choose, but in a moment of weakness, Tony decides to choose his daughter. But Maddox comes in and he decides to try and do the exorcism. However, the demon takes hold of him and breaks his neck and he dies. That's when Tony actually loses his, and he yells that he chooses Catherine, and Angela flatlines initially. But the demon reveals that if they chose someone, it's that girl who is actually going to drag to hell, and the other one will survive. So Catherine starts screaming for her parents, and she dies, and you can see her soul, or what basically is supposed to be her soul, being tormented by demons, and they drag her to hell. Angela starts to breathe, she survives, and she returns to normal. The police arrive, the rest of the cops arrive, in fact basically Miranda and Tony are unable to resuscitate Catherine, and Victor is, of course, glad to have his daughter back. And basically, you see towards the end of the movie that Regan decides to forgive her mother while she's there in the hospital because she got blinded and all that. And you see Victor going to visit his wife's grave. Tony and Miranda are grieving the loss of their daughter. That's how the movie ends. Is it a worthwhile entry into the Exorcist franchise? I am actually going to have to rewatch the entire entire series because I kind of remember the first one and a little bit of the last one. And I think the first was a classic, of course. I'm not really scared by it, but I definitely do accept that it's a classic. This one, and I find this, I mean, didn't really have any pizzazz, I mean, like, any depth to it. It was like, even though the movie is kind of lengthy, it was around 2 hours long, I guess. Yeah, 111 minutes long. It didn't feel, there's a lot of stuff that's in the beginning that's kind of unnecessary. Didn't feel like we should have had that 80s scene, to be honest. That could have been just a flashback somewhere. It was boring, to be honest. Most of it. Of course, towards the end, it does pick up quite a bit. Who's the demon? I have no clue. They must have gotten some kind of a demon, but it's not connected to the demons in the previous movies. Pazuzu, to be honest. So, yeah. And I must say that the acting, even though it's not bad, no, don't get me wrong, acting's not really bad, but Victor doesn't seem to be like, he's supposed to be the male lead, and he doesn't really give off the, like, you don't really feel for the actor, for the character, sorry, you don't really feel, get anything out of his acting, to be honest. I think it was a really bad choice for a lead actor to in that particular role. They could have gone for somebody else. I don't know. In fact, I actually found Tony to be more convincing. The Norbert Leo Butz. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else before, but yeah, so Danny McCarthy plays Stuart. Raphael Sabbats plays Pastor Don Revens. E.J. Bonilla, who I've seen in a couple of movies, plays Father Maddox. Linda Blair and Ellen Bernstein do have their little cameos as well. And Lizzie Johnston plays the voice of Lamash 2. Plays Lamash 2 the demon. I guess so. And a couple of other people are using the demon voices. There's also this spiritual leader, Okui, Dr. Beehive, played by Okui, something which I can't really pronounce, I'm really sorry. Yeah, so that's the thing. The two girls were pretty fine. The scenes where they possess is really, really good. Leslie Odom Jr., I think for me, was the wrong choice for the male lead. And I think that kind of let me down. Plus, a lot of the beginning part was letting me down as well. And yeah, like I mentioned, Danny McBride seems to be ruining. Well, not really, but yeah, he seems to be putting in a lot of the horror franchises, especially the really classic ones. And I don't think it really stood out. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Nothing major to shout about, so that's just my opinion. But that's what I think about it. So anyway, we'll catch you in another movie review coming up pretty soon. Good night.